Of every driver in history, and fantasy, there's one man who proved that a fast car cannot make up for a lack of speed. His name?
Takumi?
The plan is simple. Take an 8.6, and for every time I lose to Takumi's downhill record on Mt.Akina, we upgrade it until I can definitively prove him wrong and end his undefeated streak. Ignoring the time he blew up his engine against the Emperors. Let's go ahead and meet the car we're going to be working with today.
What in the holy hell? My 8.6 has been turned into an 8.5.
Because of the way automation is, I had to resort to the 11 body style, but it's still an 8.6. An 8.6 with the 16 valve 4A GE, making upwards of 128 horsepower and 110 foot-pounds of torque. It's got disc brakes on all four corners, McPherson struts in the front, and every other specification you'd see on a stock AE 8.6. To even have a chance at Takumi's supposed record of, well, no one actually knows, but many speculate it to be somewhere just over 4.5 minutes, so we're going to need to change some things. To get our stock 8.6 up to par with Takumi's, we need to upgrade our wheels to a larger 15-inch set of Watanabe F8s and surround them in a sportier compound akin to Bridgestone Potenzas, supposedly quoted in the manga. Additionally, the wiki states that the original Blue Top 4AGE motor was tuned to 150 horsepower, and I'm assuming that torque should also jump up another 20-ish foot-pounds. But now let's go ahead and set our first time down Akina. This lap should be as close to on par as I can get with Takumi in his 8.6. I'm gonna stick with grip driving, so I really gotta make sure to use these gutters to be as quick as possible. The power is not really that good, but it's definitely more potent than the original, 120 horsepower from stock. Corners pretty well, as if that was gonna be surprising. Oh my gosh, it also gets really jittery in these hairpins. Like the A6 is just punishing me for understeering. Oh, and I should also mention that although Mt.Akina is based on a real mountain pass in Japan, they're not one-to-one. So each of these Akina mods are going to be just a little bit different from each other. That's part of the reason why my estimate is so broad on Takumi's lap time, because nobody can quite agree which layout of Akina is the most accurate. So depending on whatever I can set on this attempt, I'll re-estimate his time to be more according. I am definitely thinking about adding more power for these straights. I mean, the car isn't sluggish, but it's just not all that fast. I know this next section can get, real technical, so it should give us a pretty good look at how the 8.6 corners. See what kind of changes we need to make to get the most speed out of the car. But I will say, trail braking and more so, estimating cornering speed is really intuitive for the 8.6. I feel like I can just kind of toss it in and get through the corner without losing too much speed. It really makes me wonder, how much faster can drifting, actually get? Yep, from the way I drive, I can still feel quite a bit of understeer. But, I could definitely just be overdriving. I'm driving past the car's limits. Alright, and this is one of the faster sections, so let's see how fast this thing can actually get up to. And I know the speedometer isn't accurate. I mean, for a Corolla from the 80s, this thing's actually pretty quick. Sometimes I forget the 8.6 isn't exactly a sports car. So, high praises for this thing. Coming up now to the 5 hairpin section. I have a feeling this is going to be the place where I lose the most amount of time to Takumi. Gets real jittery again. I mean, I think as long as I just keep it in second and don't get on the throttle too early, should be able to get through these hairpins just fine. And at this point, fine is good enough for me. I really don't expect this to be the attempt where I beat Takumi. I believe this corner coming up is actually the corner where Takumi overtook Ryosuke in their battle, so we should be coming up right at the end here. I think it might just be a couple more corners. Oh, coming in a little hot. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, the bus stop here. I think I'll just call the finish right past this act deep. Alright, a 5:30. You know, it's a little far off, but with enough mods, we can definitely aim for a sub 5 minute. For our series of upgrades, I want to take some inspiration from the actual 1186 in the show by turboing the 4AGE. And I found that my turbo engines love low compression, and so with a few small adjustments and a bit of slider magic, we've got a healthy jump to 215 horsepower. And to mirror the fact that Bunta tuned the gear ratios, to basically have an extra gear between 3rd and 4th, I'm going to upgrade to a 6-speed. I'm also going to throw on some semi-slick tires to help bring out that extra power in the corners. And then for aero, I am once again going to take a page out of Wataru's book and throw on the same whale tail style wing that his A6 had. But now the question is this enough to shave off over half a second? Let's find out. By this point, if you're still watching, you probably enjoy what I do, so why not leave a quick like and subscribe. Also, if you play automation and you want to be a part of a series where I review viewer submitted cars, why not also join the Discord linked in the description below. 70 horsepower definitely makes a big difference. Gotta remember to slow down. The hairpins are still a bit of an issue, but then I just get to mash the throttle and it's so quick. Oh, it even gets a bit squirrely now. But yeah, I really don't know if this variant of my 8.6 will be enough to beat Takumi. I mean, I'm doubtful whether or not it can get near 5 minutes. I'm pretty certain Takumi is going to be right around that number. So far, this is definitely my favorite between the two 8.6s. I mean, just over 200 horsepower is like the perfect number for this car. And the added grip is also really nice through these corners. I feel like this is the point where grip driving might be the preferred technique for Akina. I guess I just gotta see if my lap time agrees with that take though. I should be able to make up a lot of time on these straights here. I did tune the gearing, slightly towards being a rally car, just because, especially with the added power, top speed is kind of irrelevant here. Looks like we're back at the gazillion hairpins. Oh, slow down, slow down, slow down. It's okay, it's okay. I still need to remember to brake because of how much more speed this thing can carry. It really shouldn't matter through this section though. I really just keep thinking that the brakes are so good because of how light the car is, but the car doesn't have 150 horsepower anymore. I don't remember exactly what time we were at near the end here, but I think we're coming in a decent bit quicker. We're not getting a sub 5 though. We're definitely getting a sub 5:30. How much quicker? Let's see. Alright, we're coming down to the bus stop here. Are we looking at a 5:15? Okay, okay. Slow down, jeez. 5:12. That's over 15 seconds better than the last attempt. Now here comes the fun part. If reasonable upgrades aren't going to definitively get me below a 5-minute lap, then I need to write a few checks. First of all, let's swap in a 3S GE BeamNG engine. The added displacement and additions like VVTi should help us make a lot more power. I also want to give it the same turbo treatment, with the power figures ending up at a respectable 300 horsepower. Also, why stick to semi-slicks when we can fit our 8.6 with racing slicks, and widen the tires a bit. I also want to go ahead and give the 8.6 a few traction aids and ABS. Then moving on to the design, I want it to be somewhat based on Kiichi Tsuchiya's time attack setup. That means a huge rear wing with pretty narrow struts holding it up, giant front splitter, and massive fender arches to widen the track width. And for the sake of bringing out as much speed as possible, why not just rebuild the car on a carbon tub? Save some weight and stiffen up the chassis a bit. And now, if this can't beat Takumi's time down Akina, then I think it might just be time for me to retire from YouTube. Oh god, I didn't think 300 horsepower would feel like so much. The car in corner is insanely quick too. I mean, that aero is putting in a lot of work here. I find myself actually using 4th gear and missing it. Wow, yeah, the hairpins are quick too. I mean, it's got just enough power to overpower the rear grip and enough grip at the front end to just hold on. I feel like if it wasn't obvious before, I am certainly the limiting factor to what this car can do on a mountain pass. If there were another step between this time attack variant and the 8.6 before it, maybe I could have done without the racing slicks or something, but I'm having too much fun with this. If you really want to be pedantic, when Initial D took place, you're not exactly going to be able to find a BeamNG engine or enough carbon fiber to build a chassis out of. But, I could have brought a legitimate race car from the 80s that could beat them. That's not the point of the challenge. Yeah, it's so fast on the straights. I mean, I feel like I'm already a half second quicker than the last attempt. Oh, slow down, okay. It's just so much to process. I feel like I need to just lock in and do the rest of the lap and let you guys enjoy what this thing can do. Alright, we're coming up in the last corner here. And one last chance to just gas it for the finish. Wow, okay. 8:30. Not bad. Fortunately, whether Takumi's time was a 4:30 something or 5 minutes, we beat both times. But what did it take? 150 extra horsepower, racing slicks, ton of aero mods, carbon fiber. I mean, I might have gone a little overkill on the upgrades, but I proved my point. That is, if I showed up with a $100,000 8.6 and a ton of parts from the future, I could have beaten Takumi on the downhill on his home turf.